Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Chelsea 3, Manchester United 1. Frank Lampard's Chelsea are in the FA Cup final. Again, Chelsea have finally broken the Man United curse of this season. When it mattered, Chelsea turned up against Man United and absolutely battered them. It was a glorious day for Chelsea, it really was. Everything went right. Firstly, I gave him criticism the other night. It was a Frank Lampard tactical masterclass. It really was. It was amazing to see how perfect his plan worked on that football pitch today at Wembley. There's been so many times this season I've talked about how Chelsea have been uncertain. You're not quite sure what maybe Lampard's trying to implement on the pitch, and maybe sometimes that's been because of form of young players or just the form of the team, struggles in and out, injuries. Today, you felt from minute one a fully complete performance by Chelsea, where it felt like everyone was working in harmony and blue together to get a result. Whatever we talk about in terms of what Lampard actually did on the pitch, I just thought it was so wonderful to see Chelsea at a major point in the season turning up every player in blue on that pitch, playing out of their skin to win the game. And I think that's the most amazing thing moving forward for Frank Lampard. It's not only about individual talent, individual brilliance like Christian Pulisic, who didn't even get a start today, didn't play any minutes of football, is fully rested for the Liverpool game, but just how the team worked together as one unit. There was a lot about this performance that reminded me of the Liverpool win in the FA Cup. Chelsea pressing on the front foot right from the off against Man United, not letting them have the ball, not letting the ball get to Bruno Fernandes a lot. Seeing something similar that I think I'm pretty sure Frank would have been influenced by that Southampton performance against Man United in a similar way, really pressing up against the likes of Fred and Matic, winning up the ball high. And with that, wing-back system, what you're allowed to do and what you have is Marcos Alonso, who's just a brilliant left wing-back, always able to get up the pitch, help Chelsea, assist Chelsea in attack, as was seen in that third goal, but also Reece James, who was amazing. And I think having Reece James, I noticed it earlier on in the game, and it hasn't happened a lot this season, Reece James having Dave behind him, I think was a brilliant move by Lampard. Just helping James get through that game and also allowing James the creative freedom to move forward where we can be really effective. I think the first half, I was a little bit cautious to get overexcited about that first half, how well Chelsea have been playing, because I'd seen it the previous 3 times basically against Man United, where Chelsea have a lot of the ball, we look like we may score, but then get hit on the counter-attack like we have against Man United. So I was a little bit cautious, but that goal right at the end of a very long first half, hope Eric Bailly is okay, because it did look like a serious injury, so I hope he's okay. But when that half did finally end, Chelsea going into the break 1-0 up, I think that was so crucial. I think the first goal today mentally for Chelsea was always going to be a big thing. Olivier Giroud once again, I thought it was a well-worked goal, but Giroud, 4 goals now in a row when he started games. He scored the opening goal against Watford, he scored the opening goal against Palace, he scored the opening goal against Norwich on Monday, and then of course he scored the opening goal today, which really set Chelsea off. And Olivier Giroud was absolutely phenomenal today. He really was. What a signing that has turned out to be from Arsenal. A quality player, a player who, for me, my respect has just gone up for him so much. Even more in that first part of the season where he was barely getting any minutes. The professionalism of Giroud is amazing, and to see how he's been called upon and how he's reacted and stepped up in big moments for Chelsea for the remainder of the season, he has got to be up there for me as one of the players of the season, just for the impact he's had, scoring big goals when Chelsea have needed him to. And once again today, just all round adding that physical element, which really helped Chelsea get up the pitch. I mean, one thing I noticed early on as well was, and this was something present in the Liverpool game as well in the FA Cup, which Giroud was starting as well, was a lot of long balls from Caballero and the centre-backs. Chelsea not trying to play out the back that much, if you noticed, not trying to limit the mistakes in central midfield, trying to limit the amount of pressing towards Jorginho. Jorginho didn't get isolated a lot today. It was a lot of hitting that ball long to the likes of Marcos Alonso, to Giroud to knock down. The second half couldn't have started much better for Chelsea. A sloppy ball from Brandon Williams, who really I thought was exposed today. I think that was a pinpoint area, I think, of Chelsea. I think that was something that Chelsea and Lampard very much targeted, the wide areas of Man United's defence. Wan-Bissaka, we got in behind him several times during the game. That was an area we exposed quite badly. And also I think Brandon Williams as well was another area Frank Lampard, I think Chelsea targeted to good effect, as was seen there. A bad mistake, Mason Mount driving forward. Yes, it's a terrible mistake from David De Gea, but I was so happy for Mason, because I think, like we used to say when Fabregas Fabregas was at Chelsea, when Fabregas plays, Chelsea play. I think in the coming years you'll see people say when Mason Mount plays, Chelsea play. I just think when Mount is in the team, we have just so much more natural energy to press up high, to be more creative, to be more expressive, which is what Frank Lampard's team needs to be. Bear in mind, a lot of people talk about the structure of this team. Defensively, it was very impressive from Chelsea, but it was still a very progressive performance. It was still a performance where Chelsea were looking to get on the front foot and create chances. By no means was this Chelsea sitting back deep and just hoping for something on the counter. This was a methodical performance by Frank Lampard's Chelsea, where we highlighted our strengths, limit our weaknesses, and really go for the throats of Man United when we could. I think you could look back at the performances against Wolves earlier in the season, the performances against Ajax, that win away from home in October, the 2 wins against Spurs this season, very similar performances. And it just, for me, I think Frank Lampard, I really hope he gets the credit tactically for today, because I think he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. To come up against a manager and a team that have already beaten Chelsea 3 times this season has that psychological edge, and to beat them so convincingly, like none of those games happened before, I think you absolutely need to give Frank Lampard credit. What he's done this season, if Chelsea win an FA Cup this year, along with a Champions League spot, what an incredible first year it's been for Frank Lampard. And this is one of the high points of the season, and luckily it's come at just the right time, and hopefully it can give Chelsea the springboard to go on now and finish the season on a real high. Just to go, of course, to the third goal, brilliant. I thought Rudy had scored it, but it looks like it's going to be a Maguire own goal. But once again, just Chelsea pressing, looking so dynamic. I think I've got to give shout outs to Mateo Kovacic, absolutely outstanding. Graham Souness, I really hope Graham Souness is watching this, and I really hope he keeps on writing articles before Chelsea play, really rubbishing Mateo Kovacic, because every time he does it, Mateo Kovacic or Jorginho, they have amazing games. And once again, Mateo Kovacic, outstanding. Probably his best performance since the restart. He really hasn't been at his best since the restart. Being that press resistance, getting through fouls, helping Chelsea build up play. I think if anyone doubts what Kovacic does to Chelsea's midfield and what he can do for us going in attack, helping us build from the back, from midfield to attack, you have to watch that performance from Mateo Kovacic. And if you still don't see it, I don't really know what to tell you. He probably still will get Chelsea's player of the season, because consistently from the start of August to now, he has been Chelsea's best performer. So I really hope he as well gets big credit. I think the defence deserves credit as well. And they've been criticised in recent weeks, but Antonio Rudiger, a massive performance. Kurt Zuma, a massive performance. Marcos Alonso, a massive performance. I thought Willian worked his socks off. I've already talked about Mason Mount. It was a bit of a shame that we did concede that goal. Standard penalty for Man United, of course. It was sloppy from Callum Hudson-ODOI, and it's something he shouldn't be doing. It's the sort of thing that will keep him out of the team. And what was such a composed, intelligent performance by Chelsea, that was so structured, so well thought out, so well executed. It was a moment of sloppiness that is going to cost Callum Hudson-ODOI in the long term if he does things like that, because Frank needs players he can trust. And Callum, of course, is still young. I'm not writing him off. Next season will be big for him. But I think even Tammy and Ruben, when they came on, did things to help Chelsea still keep a hold of the ball, keep attacks going, and stop Man United getting back into the game. So I think that was a frustrating moment. But other than that, it's an amazing performance. I mean, some people will put it down as the best Chelsea performance of the season. I think it has to go up there with the best this season. And the amazing thing for Frank is Chelsea seem to have this ability of playing really well against the biggest opponents. It's not been the problem this year against big opponents. You usually expect Chelsea will turn up against tougher opposition. It's against inferior opposition where Chelsea need to improve next year. But I think this is a big day for Lampard. If he can go now to the FA Cup final, of course, Chelsea's season is now extended by another week to have the FA Cup final. And hopefully it'll be third time lucky against Arsenal in the FA Cup final, because we haven't had the best of luck against them in FA Cup finals. But hopefully this time it'll more be like a repeat of Baku last year. Amazing. It sets us up so well for the week. That Leicester result earlier as well, I think, gives Chelsea a boost to go into that game at Anfield now with a lot of confidence. If we win that game, we have Champions League football. The last game doesn't matter. I really think it could help Chelsea. Whether Frank goes for a 3-4-3, I think it'd be very tempting. I'm not entirely sure, just based on the opposition. But what it does show once again is Frank, when he gets it right, he gets it really right. And he can put out a team to put a really competent performance out, a full performance out that can beat the best opposition. And if we do that consistently with the players that are coming in the summer to improve our squad, exciting times are ahead for Chelsea again. So those are my thoughts on that brilliant performance. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, up the Chelsea, and I'll see you again.